Yo, what's up, YouTube? Firefist Chris here, and I'm bringing you guys a deck profile of the Ivankov deck, as well as analysis of this deck for OP-02. I haven't seen many videos online, really talking too much about this deck. I see a lot for like Whitebeard as well as for Zoro, but I'm going to go ahead and just do a deck profile of what I'm actually personally looking forward to, and just really talking about the playstyle and how I feel about this deck and its matchups as well. I know I haven't uploaded within the past 2 weeks. I'm gonna make sure to get it on more of a consistent schedule. Life sometimes just gets a hold, but I'll be uploading this, and then I'll also be uploading duel videos from the online simulator for this deck. So if you guys do want to see that content, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be uploading the duel video shortly. But I'll go straight into the deck profile. So here we got obviously Ivanka, which if you don't know already, the ability is at the end of your turn, if you have no cards in hand, then you draw two cards. So obviously it's a different type of ability that we've seen from most leaders. Just being able to, actually draw cards from your leader ability is pretty useful, but sometimes, obviously, like, as most people know, not having cards in your hand means, not having any counters. So we'll speak on how that playstyle would actually look like. Next, then we have four Peronas. So it plays it a little bit different than Dofi. This, you're kind of just looking for key pieces that you can stack on top of your deck, and then use the stage card New Kamaland to draw into that card. So honestly, Perona is just really useful for you stacking in a way where either you don't like what you're about to draw for the next couple turns and you can bottom deck it, or you just stack key pieces and then you'll know you'll have what you need for the upcoming turns as well. Next, we have Buggy, which this one is a new card for OP-02. It's a one drop 2000. It's like a Nami. You can search the top five, add any impel down card besides himself. So a searcher for the deck. Obviously, it's a great card. Alvida, we just use it for the 2K counters. Same goes with Mr. 2 as well as Mihawk. These are the 2K counters in the deck, and they're pretty much used for, obviously early damage, just stopping anything like that for the late game. Four of the Doflamingo blocker. I run this same reason for Perona. You can stack your deck. It just kind of gets the consistency really good for this deck of seeing your key pieces, which would be the Luffy and the Ivankov. But then for Dofi, obviously it's a blocker. It's just really useful. Next is probably I would say honestly, two of the best cards in the deck is these two blockers. So here we have one where it's a blocker, and then if you have one or less cards in your hand, it gains 2,000 power. So what's interesting about both of these blockers is that they're actually really strong attackers. So this one can attack for 7,000 if you have one or less cards in your hand. And then Mr. 3, you can be really aggressive with him, since at the end of your turn, you can just trash a card and set him as active. So a lot of times as well, like you're grinding in the game, uh, you'll have one card in hand. You can attack with him and pitch the card for his cost to make him active. Then the end of your turn, you draw two because of Ivankov. So that's a good combo there. Um, Mihawk, same thing. You don't really play this. It's just the 2K counter. Same thing with Mr. 2. Honestly, I wish it had a better effect, but I mean, it's okay. The problem with it goes back to the bottom of your deck after you're done attacking using this ability. So not that useful. Here we got Crocodile, which this is a great, obviously, stat line 5/7. So obviously it's great for attacking. And this can also be summoned from Ivankov, or just be summoned on curve as well. Next is kind of the reason why this deck is so strong. We have Luffy, which on play or when attacking, you can trash two cards in your hand, and then you can bounce a four or less to the owner's hand. And if you do, then it gains double attack. So, double attacker that can be summoned for free with Ivankov is just really strong. Honestly, it kind of forces players to play in a certain way to stop him, and then he can bounce blockers on his own. Next, we have Ivankov, which synergizes perfectly with this no hand type of playstyle. So on play, you can draw until you have three cards, and then you can summon um, a six or lower impel down card. So you can summon the blockers, you can summon Crocodile. Most of the time, you want to summon Luffy. It's just really useful just getting Luffy on the field for free. Obviously, it's a blue deck, so we have Mihawk. Mihawk is just for spot removal. It's really good late game as well. For this card, I've been testing this. This is Gum Gum Rain. It's a zero cost counter, so it catches people off guard when they, obviously they don't see any Don active, but you can still use the ability. And this just says that you had to trash a card, your leader or character gains 3,000. So it's kind of like a guard point that you just trash a card for. Next, we have Brickfist, and this is a 2 cost bounce of 4 drop. So it's really useful, honestly. And then we have the new Kama Land. And this card, it's good, but you obviously don't. I only run 2. I don't want to run any more, just because I don't really see too much uses for it. Obviously, late game, you kind of just want to see one. But this just says you can rest the stage and then draw a card, trash a card, and then you can trash up to 3 cards. So it helps clear your hand if you want to just cycle through your deck, get further in, get Ivankov as well ability. So all in all, for matchups, I think it has a decent matchup against Whitebeard, Black. Sometimes with Whitebeard it can be tricky depending on the build they're playing. I feel like that's a very strong deck. With Zoro, you could run into some issues since they're playing more of the low cost 1 drops and attacking a lot of times per turn for OP-02. So if they can get a better start than you, sometimes I could see them overwhelming you. But all in all, if it becomes more of a resource game, I do feel like this deck has a little bit of edge. Um, and then for other matchups, obviously I would say Purple Kaidos would be a bad matchup for most blue decks. Just being able to blow up the board, popping something like King can go ahead and kind of pop a lot in your deck that you would need. Um, and as for Black, I think it has actually a pretty good matchup against Black, just because they usually can only pop 1 or 2 cards a turn, like depending if they have the Akainu or Aokiji. But that was it, guys. This is the deck analysis. I'm going to go ahead and upload a video for the dual videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys do enjoy the content, I'm going to make sure to keep it more consistent. That was it. Bye.